Well, how's that for a new landscape? What is up, everybody? My name is Advance, and this is Advance Sports Talk. So, this is my second playoff breakdown video. I was planning to do this weekly. I had missed last week due to some priorities that I had to take care of, but nevertheless, I'm here now. So, a lot's happened in the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna get into it. You know, some teams lost, some teams won. The entire landscape has been shuffled around, you know, like a shell game. So, yeah, let's get into this breakdown. So, the new standings in the NFC East. The team formerly known as the Washington Redskins are now leading that division. The New York Giants have fallen. The Philadelphia Eagles are third, and the Dallas Cowboys are fourth. So it's like what happened then. I know I said in the last video that New York was the team to beat in that division. Well, New York lost on Sunday, and it was like every other team caught like this mental like thing, was like, hold up, I still got a chance. And lo and behold, Washington won. Dallas stomped the Bengals. Philly beat the Saints. and that was like the biggest upset of the weekend. Like, nobody saw that coming. But hey, I had faith. NFC North, the Green Bay Packers versus I'm sorry, I'm thinking I'm doing my breakdown. Green Bay Packers have clinched the division. Then you got the Minnesota Vikings, Chicago Bears, and the Detroit Lions. In the NFC South, I'm gonna get into all of these too. So the New Orleans Saints are still first in the division. They clinched the playoff berth, regardless of whether they win the division or not. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 8-5, second. The Atlanta Falcons, we play them coming up, and Carolina Panthers. NFC West, LA Rams switch spaces. They switched places with the Seahawks, who are now number 2. Arizona Cardinals number 3, and the 49ers are number 4. Alright, so let me get into this wild card race with the NFC first. So, with the Eagles beating the Saints, I don't know what tiebreakers were in effect here, because the Packers and the Saints have the same record. So I guess it's common opponents because they beat us, but we beat the Packers. Point differential, or I don't know. But the Green Bay Packers are now in that top seed. So with them being in the top seed, they switched with New Orleans. So now New Orleans is in the second seed. The LA Rams have retaken the lead in that division. So now they took the first spot, and then the Seahawks got kicked back down to the 6th seed. No, I'm sorry, the 5th seed. The Washington football team put the Giants completely out the playoffs. They haven't been eliminated yet, but if basically the route to the playoffs for NFC East team is they got to win the division, and that's within possibility. You know, Washington is 2 games ahead of the Eagles and the Cowboys, and 1 game ahead of New York. So yeah, that division is far from over. It's far from decided. Alright, so the seeds are as follows. 5th seed, Seattle Seahawks. 6th seed, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3rd seed, Arizona Cardinals. So with the loss, with the Buccaneers beating the I'm about to say the Lions. With the Buccaneers beating the Vikings, that knocked them out of the playoffs so far. Or it knocked them out of their wild card spot. So now, with 2 games separated from them, Arizona won on Sunday, so they came back up over the Vikings. So now they're in the 7th seed. In the hunt, top slot, Minnesota Vikings 6 and 7. Right under them, Chicago Bears 6 and 7, and under them, Detroit Lions 5 and 8. Man, NFC North could take it. So yeah, it's pretty much just a mad dash for that top for that bottom seed, that newly created 7th seed. So then you got the 49ers at 5 and 8, New York Giants at 5 and 8, Philadelphia Eagles 4 and 8. All right. So once it gets to the NFC team, the NFC East teams, you can just pretty much cut it there. So because the reason why they haven't been mathematically eliminated is because miracles do happen. Sometimes teams went out. Sometimes teams only need to win 1 game to maintain their playoff position, and they lose all 4 of their remaining games. That's right. I'm looking at you, Gruden. I'm not going to go into but yeah, I'll go into the schedules real quick. So for the Vikings, they have Chicago, New Orleans, and Detroit in that order. Man, that's Detroit's a winnable game, but those first 2, man. I know Trubisky is shaky, but like at the same time, it's Trubisky. I mean, the Chicago got a defense. Every so often, Trubisky decides that he wants to actually play quarterback. Let's look at the Bears schedule. So they got the Vikings, like I just mentioned, the Jaguars, and then they got Green Bay. Oh man, like that Green Bay game is going to be tough for them. Jaguars, that could be a win. Minnesota Vikings, though, I think that's going to be the game that decides it. Between who's look, one of those teams is going to remain in the hunt after Sunday. So yeah, between the Vikings or the Bears. I mean, depending on whether or not the Lions and the 49ers, I don't even know why I'm even including them. Depends on whether the Lions or the 49ers decide to come up. But yeah, that could the game Sunday is what's going to decide it. Either the Minnesota Vikings or the Chicago Bears is going to continue. And then even with even past that, the Vikings got New Orleans that following week. So depending on what kind of shit that New Orleans is on, who knows? Because if the Bears beat the Vikings, they got the Jaguars next. And then they got Green Bay. Which may not be as tough for them, because if the Saints lose and the Packers already clinched that top spot, they might not even start anybody of significance. So who knows? Alright, so now I'm looking at the AFC. I'm going to start with the AFC East. Buffalo Bills still rolling strong, followed by Miami Dolphins, the New England Patriots, and the New York Jets. And I'll say this, I thought I would never see the day where the Patriots is below Buffalo and Miami. Like, man, that's weird. It's weird even hearing me say it out loud. Alright, so following I'm following up with the AFC North. Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Steelers are in trouble because they lost 2 in a row. Now, I've said in previous videos that the Steelers did have a dominating record at 11-0. However, those victories were heavily contested. They weren't like clear-cut landslide victories. A lot of them was just the fact of, the defense bailing them out and Roethlisberger making key plays when he needed to make them. But even still, he was in regression. So yeah, they suffered their first loss to the Washington football team, and then they suffered their second loss to the Buffalo Bills. Then they got the Bengals, the Colts, and then the Browns. The Bengals they might bounce back against, because they've been vulnerable ever since Joe Burrow's been out. So the Colts, that's not guaranteed, and the Browns is no longer guaranteed. So look, Browns got a playoff spot. Baltimore Ravens, they starting to bounce back after COVID hit them. That was that was just terrible because they lost all of their key players. So they bounced back in a big way. They beat their last 2 opponents. They beat the Cowboys and then they beat the Browns. So, and then the Browns, here's the reason why I say it's going to be a tough game for Pittsburgh. Not just anybody can come up and just put 40 points on the Ravens. It's going to take, it takes the caliber of a Mahomes or a Brady, Cleveland is the real deal this year. But Baltimore, they got Jacksonville, they got New York, and then they got Cincinnati. So if the Steelers and the Browns ain't careful, Baltimore's gonna fuck around and sneak in there. So they gotta do what they gotta do to maintain their spots. I'm gonna get into the wild card breakdown in a minute. So AFC South, you got Tennessee Titans still in the top spot, Indianapolis Colts, the Houston Texans, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the heavy contenders in this division are obviously the Titans and the Colts. So Tennessee, they got Detroit, they got Green Bay, and then they got Houston for their last 3 games. Detroit's not really depends on how hard they play, but yeah, Green Bay, that could be a tough one. Houston, that could be a tough one, depending on whatever side of the bed that they wake up on. Let's see, Indianapolis Colts, they got Houston, they got Pittsburgh, and they got Jacksonville. So really, it looks like the only challenging game that they have is going to be Houston. And Pittsburgh can give them trouble with their defense, but Jacksonville is a bit soft this year. So who knows? All right, moving on to the AFC West. So Kansas City Chiefs, I'm gonna talk about them in a second. The Las Vegas Raiders, Denver Broncos, and the LA Chargers. We'll talk about them too. But look. So, getting into the playoff breakdown, the division leaders, are as follows. And going by seed. So we got the Kansas City Chiefs, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Buffalo Bills, and then the Tennessee Titans. So, wild card seed 5, Cleveland Browns. Seed 6, Indianapolis Colts. Seed 7, Miami Dolphins at 8-5, with the Ravens in the hunt, peeking on the outside looking in at 8-5 also. They got that top slot. Second slot goes to the Raiders at 7-7. third slot goes to the Patriots at 6 and 7. And then you have your your hopefuls. You got the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Texans. So basically what that all boils down to is who wins or loses this weekend. If certain teams lose, you're going to start seeing certain teams get eliminated. But yeah, for the Browns, I'm doing a reverse of what I did last week. I'm looking at the playoff team schedules. So the Browns, they have New York. They might as well just stay there. Wait, I said that before. No, I said that about LA. I'm sorry. So yeah, the Browns, they got both New York teams back to back for the next 2 weeks. They got the Giants and the Jets, and then they got the Steelers. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it now. I'm gonna say that the Browns are gonna clinch. They're gonna clinch their playoff berth. So because both of those New York teams, even though the Giants play a little bit harder than the Jets, the Giants still, the Giants are still, a weak team. So as long as Cleveland don't believe their hype, they'll win. And then they can round it off with Pittsburgh at the end of the year. Now, that game might not mean anything to either team if both of them are gonna be in the playoffs anyway. The only thing that it might come down to is who's playing for home field advantage. That's if they hold on, let me check. Let me go back to the record real quick. Oh, so yeah, they 9-4. Pittsburgh is 11-2. So yeah, they could Pittsburgh could very well lose 2 games, and then the Browns could take them over and get the tiebreaker. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough for both of them. All right, now for the Colts. Next 3 games, we got Houston, we got Pittsburgh, and then Jacksonville. So Houston, I don't know about that one. It's an AFC South matchup. They won by 6 the last time they played them. So that could go either way. Plus, it decides on what team the Texans decided they want to be. Then they got the Steelers. I think, yeah, the Steelers are going to try to play hard because they gotta maintain their spot with the threats coming up from Cleveland and Baltimore. And then they got the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that would be a little bit of a reprieve for them. All right, now we got the Dolphins. My man Tua, Roll Tide. So they got the New England Patriots. They got the Las Vegas Raiders. And they got the Buffalo Bills. Now, I'm gonna say this. The only clear-cut team where they could possibly lose is the Bills. So the reason why I say it is because the Bills have been on fire this year. New England and Las Vegas, they've had spurts, but they at the same time they can at the same time they can be exploited. So like I don't know, it's a toss up. I know Cam does stuff, but like the Patriots is so up and down this year. Like 2 weeks ago, the Patriots stomped the Chargers. They blew out the Chargers 45-0. Then turned right around that Thursday and lost to the Rams 24-3. So they had one game of exceptional offense, and then 4 days later they had another game of not so stellar offense. So you never know. Like, you never know what you're gonna get with the Patriots. It's a mystery box, but we'll see. we'll see what happens. I know that, this is the first time that Miami has been in a playoff race in a minute. So, I don't think I got them giving that up easily without a fight. All right, so now I said on the outside looking in, we got the Ravens, the Raiders, and then the Patriots. So I know I analyzed this last week or a minute ago. So yeah, Baltimore, they got 3 easy teams for the next 3 weeks of the season. So best case scenario, they could be 11-5. Yeah. The Raiders, unfortunately, they already lost a couple days ago on Thursday. So so that could damper their chances. So next week they have Miami, and then they have Denver. Denver's gonna play them hard just to play spoiler. So I don't know. It's not looking too good for the Raiders. New England, they got Miami, Buffalo, and then New York. So they got 2 wars that they got to fight before it softens up a little bit. And even New York has been really has been playing hard. So hey, that's pretty much what has to happen. So now talking about the what happened with the Chiefs and the Steelers. So what happened was just basically Steelers lost 2 in a row. The Chiefs didn't. Chiefs took the Steelers over. So now Kansas City is in that top slot, and the Steelers are in the 2nd seed, and that's bad for the Steelers because I have a feeling that they needed that bye because, like I said, it's late in the season now. Roethlisberger is in regression, so that arm, especially in cold weather, that arm ain't gonna work like it used to, So, hey, I don't know if the Steelers aren't careful, they might mess around and get knocked out. They might mess around and fall to the 4th seed because they still got the Bills and still got the Titans there, nipping at their heels. So, oh shit, I just noticed this. Literally, the playoff wins from bottom up are 9, 10, 11, and 12. I'm a simple man. I'm amused by simple things. All right, so with that being said, if it ended today in the NFC, the Green Bay Packers would have seed 1, so they get the first week bye. Then you get the wild card matchups: New Orleans Saints versus the Arizona Cardinals. That's going to be a good matchup. LA Rams versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You get a second chance at revenge. The Washington Football Team versus the Seattle Seahawks. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. If I had to pick, both of those teams are evenly matched. The Saints defense got exposed a little bit by Philadelphia, but we'll see how they bounce back this week. But yeah, I don't know. I can't call it. I guess I would say the Saints by 3. All right, so next, see LA Rams versus the Buccaneers. I think if Buccaneers gets a touchdown in the first quarter and a touchdown in the second quarter, we win. We win that game, because that's what it came down to last time. Was last time it was like 3 points. So yeah, we just gotta stop fucking around in the first quarter. Alright, so the Washington football team versus the Seattle Seahawks. I'm just gonna call Seattle because it's Russell Wilson. They got too many weapons, but at the same time, too many weapons can also be a detriment. So who knows? Well, I don't know. We'll see. They might fuck around and upset them. All right, so that was the sports breakdown for the NFL playoff picture. So my name is Advance. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Advance110. Follow me on Facebook, Advance Sports Talk on Facebook. So check out my gaming, Advance Gaming on Facebook, Advance Plays on YouTube, VMX9999. Like, share, subscribe on everything. I'm out.